Hi everyone, welcome to my first video. We'll struggle through this together, but I will be referring to a few notes because there are a few things I want to talk to you about as we get started again. This is going to be our new normal and I have to learn how to cope with it. And if you want to continue with art lessons, I guess you will too. So, as many of you know, I've watched a lot of videos this spring and summer and have really learned a lot. I've stretched myself and I'm feeling more comfortable about exploring new directions, and that's given me greater confidence in doing the more traditional painting we do in class. Right now, I'll just say a few things about how this may go. We don't know. But these are a few housekeeping things. I'll try to do a few videos. Then my hope is to do some Zoom sessions where we can do critiques and answer your questions. For those of you who are uncomfortable about showing yourself on Zoom, you can still participate without showing up on screen. If this sounds good to you, we'll talk more about how to do that later while I get comfortable just talking to you at all on the screen. So this is just a quick little snippet to show you my studio and where I'll be working from and where I invite you to come when you can. And then we'll talk a few minutes about supplies. Anything I talk about in terms of supplies and materials, I will list in an email to you. So don't get all upset that you don't understand right away. The first thing I have here is a full sheet of Fabriano hot press watercolor paper. I suggest that you do order some of that if you don't have some. We're going to do several exercises that will be used on these pieces of paper, but you'll find that it's economical to use it because we're going to tape them off and you will make multiple paintings from them. That's going to be one of the key aspects of how I'm going to teach in the immediate future. So if you don't have this paper now, that's fine. Use any kind of watercolor paper that you have, and you will be gessoing a few sheets. What we will be doing over time is we'll be marking them off with some masking tape. I will talk to you about that too in a future lesson. Today we're going to do something more simpler. The project that we will work with today, I will be putting on this scrap piece of Fabriano Artistico hot press paper. I have scored off 6x6s with masking tape. Even though they're still connected, I will show you how we're going to approach what we do here. So, as you can see, I have used two different brushes to make marks with black and gray. And now I'll demonstrate using white as the third with my rigger. That's it. Okay. So I've got the two colors, a black and a gray, and each one of those panels has just one stroke starting on one edge and coming all the way through to the end of the paper, keeping in mind that there's tape that's separating these little panels. I'm really juicing up my rigger with some white paint, and I'm going to start just by putting some extra marks in here. Again, we're going to go all the way through. Have to reload my page. And there just making random marks. Now this can be just the start. This is kind of waking you up again to do some painting. So we're just making marks. This is like art camp, but a little different. I might just, these are one stroke exercises. This looks pretty ugly as it is, but now I'm going to separate some of them and show you what little surprises they can be once you separate them. The beauty of doing something like this is that you don't get all wrapped up into expecting something to turn out really well on one painting. This gives you several opportunities to make paintings that may or may not work, but oh well. So now I'm going to cut right along the middle of the tape for each one. And then when you get them separated, they can be fun to go back and work on one that you kind of really like the looks of. So now I'm going to take the, I'm going to see which ones I really like. Of the 4 I just did, these are the 2 that kind of pull me back in. So I will, not right now, but I will put these aside and do something more with them and show you the results next time. These beginning classes that we're going to be doing, we're going to just kind of try to get our grooves back and talk about how we start a painting. Just even putting the first marks on your paper can get you started and not have you be uptight about the outcome. So don't think about what you're doing and what your painting might look like at the end. That handicaps you just even from the beginning. Think about the materials that you've got laid out and what you're using and what you might be able to do with them. Remember, this might have been, had we been meeting, art camp. So think about just using the paint, using the paper, and seeing how it moves. And then you can relax more. And the thing about doing things in multiples, you don't get wed to the outcome. So we will be doing more of these kinds of things just to start with before we get back into pretty traditional painting. We'll be getting to probably some still lifes. You can continue with doing some abstracting. I think of abstracting as a verb because it's something we do. It's not just a label for the outcome. You may get some surprises out of doing these little things, and it will indeed get you back in motion with doing some painting. And you don't have to spend a lot of time with these, and I don't want you to. These are just quickies, and we'll see what happens. I hate using that phrase. But anyway, again, I'm just going to restate the thing about working in multiples. Then nothing gets too precious for you. You don't focus on one painting being your masterpiece. And just remember too that if we were meeting right now, we'd be doing art camp. So that's when we pull out all the stops and enjoy the what ifs in the work that we do. So over time, you and I will get more comfortable with this new normal and probably turn some really good things out. But you might enjoy this method just even as a method that you want to use over time and produce some really good paintings. I'm stressed out a little bit doing this today, but how are you going to do it Otherwise, you just have to start. So I will refine my style and refine my stilted way of talking, and we'll work through this thing together, because we are doing this in the name of the new normal. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back to you. Bye.